everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another speed build for you and I'm going to be making a teddy bear's picnic in the forest area of my island. For the past few redesigns of my island I've included a teddy bear's picnic just in like my foresty areas. I think it adds a really nice level of detail and interest. So firstly I'm going to show you that I actually did have a teddy bear's picnic on my island already. You might have seen it in my previous speed build because it's right next to my fairy village and it was just in front of where Maple's house is there. And I wanted to move it because I just felt like it was too squished in that little space and it wasn't really like fitting with the flow of that area. So I've moved it to still next to my fairy village. It's in this little random bit of island that I have next to some waterfalls. I found it quite difficult to decide what to do with this little bit of land. I suppose I could have fit a villager house on it, but it just felt a little bit too far out of the way. It's really weirdly shaped. It's a bit weird. So I decided that this would be the perfect place to put a teddy bear's picnic. So I started off by clearing the entire bit of land of trees and plants and started up the Island Designer app, and I'm laying down the picnic blanket. I will of course leave the design code for this down in the description, but there's a few of these fabrics from a certain creator that I've used for this build and around on my island, and they're just so gorgeous. They're sort of this olive and yellow colour way and they work so well for that sort of spring core look. I start off by planting a few trees, sort of deciding where that's going to be. I'm trying to focus them on that sort of corner area because that cliff edge is the side of where my town area is, so I kind of want to hide it from that area. So I've planted the majority of the trees on that side. Then I just make sure that all of my teddy bears are customised how I want them. I tend to use the mama and the baby bears just because they're sort of the perfect size, and I like to use the more natural colours, but I'll mix them up. So I'll have the dark brown and the more red brown and the light brown shade. I was trying to use the yellow gingham baby bear, I think it is, but I can't use it. It doesn't fit. It doesn't work. But I'm just placing them on the blanket, trying to spread them out a bit so that they each have sort of their own little corner, I guess. Then pretty much it's on to decorating. Obviously I'm using a picnic basket and I'll be using a lot of like the teacups, tea cozies and a lot of the food items obviously. It was again a lot of playing around with placement. I didn't really know how I specifically wanted things. I never really do. I just go in and sort of place things where I think they'll look good, and as you will see in a bit, move them around about 10 times. For this build I wanted it to have a yellow colour scheme. I wanted it to fit in with that spring core vibe, if you will, so that's why I've used a lot of yellow and olive custom codes, and I've used a lot of sort of white and orange and yellow flowers as well, just to make it feel a lot more natural. I didn't want it to be too bright. I think that's why I didn't like my other teddy bear picnic. It was too bright. It had too much of like purple and pink and it just didn't really go with the vibe of this season. I do actually end up making this blanket one tile bigger. I had so many things that I wanted to put onto the actual blanket. I thought I may as well make it that little bit bigger so that I have room to put them on, otherwise it was going to be too much of a tight squeeze. When I was doing this I realised we actually have so many different food items now. When the game came out we only had that one cake, the handmade mum's cake, and everyone was making design codes of hats for different cakes for cafes and things like that, and Nintendo have actually released so many different food items over the past year. It's kind of insane. I really love the wedding cake in that specific variation, the garden variation I think, where it's sort of like uniced and it has lemons and a green ribbon. I think it really fits in with that sort of spring vibe, so I do end up putting that down. but I just don't put it on that stool. I also really like the handmade mum's cake in the carrot cake variation. I do think it would be nice if in the coming year, in the colder months, they released more meals that were like hot food that had like the steam animation on them that we could use. So like the soup kettle where it has the steam on it. It would be really cool if we could get like a bowl of soup, or like a bowl of stew, or certain things like that. Like with the Turkey Day festival, all those food items had that steam animation. I think that would add so much realism to the game, because right now obviously all the food items we have are sort of like sweet and cold items, so, and they obviously can do it because they do it with the coffee cup and things like that. So I think that would be really cool if we saw some food elements that had more realism and texture to it. Me just going on a rant about food items in Animal Crossing. Also, I tried using the new first anniversary cake, but the problem with it is the bottom plate of it is too weird coloured. It's like a blue-grey and it just doesn't fit. But at this point I thought I'd placed all of my items where I wanted them, but I obviously end up moving them again because it's me. But I'm just placing some more trees, filling out the area. I wanted it to look like it was still part of the forest, so I didn't want it to be too sparse with trees. But then I didn't want to put trees in a place where it would sort of cover it up so you couldn't even see what I'd done. So I ended up putting trees in that corner area, so along the top and down the side, and I filled in the rest of the gaps with flowers. And here, like, because I had to move the bear, I'm rearranging everything, of course, because it's me. I'm running to my beaches here just to pick up some hybrid flowers. I keep all of my hybrids on my beaches whilst I'm doing all my builds and that, just because it's a really easy place to store them. And I felt like I needed some sort of path to the picnic blanket, and I don't really have enough room to do that dirt path design, so I just ended up using some stepping stones, which I think is really cute and sort of adds to the vibe as well. I also really wanted to use that ukulele because I just think it is really cute because of the size of it. It looks like guitar sized for the bears, so that's why I wanted to include that. I fill out the edges with flowers just in white and yellow colours, just to fill out the areas without putting in trees and bushes, because I still wanted to be able to use that little square to hop across on the land, and I think it just fills it out and makes it look like a little clearing as well. I also add in some flower design codes just to stop the flowers from spreading, and that is the last step of my teddy bear speed build. I am really happy with how it turned out. I think it is a lot different from teddy bear picnics that I've done in the past. It has a bit of a different vibe and a different colour scheme, and I really enjoy how it looks on this particular island. I tried to leave one corner free so that your character can come and sit down and join in with the picnic as well. That's something that I think is really cute, and it makes for really nice photos as well for anyone that's visiting your island. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching it and it's given you some inspiration and ideas. If you wanted to create your own teddy bear picnic on your island, feel free to tag me in any pictures on Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave my links to those in the description. But again, thank you so much for watching. Bye!